Ever wonder what happens to that DeWalt drill someone returned because they couldn't figure out how to change the battery? Or that Milwaukee impact driver that came back in the box with sawdust still on it? Well, you're about to discover a secret world inside Home Depot that most customers walk right past without even knowing it exists. And trust me, once you know where these tools actually go, you'll never pay full price again. Here's what the big box stores don't want you to know. Every single day, Home Depot processes thousands of tool returns. Some barely used, some never even taken out of the package, and yeah, some that got returned because someone needed a drill for one weekend project and figured they'd just bring it back on Monday. The tool industry calls these people rental customers. But Home Depot can't exactly refuse returns without losing business to Lowe's down the street. So where do all these tools actually end up? The answer is going to surprise you and probably save you serious money this weekend. First stop on the journey, and this is where it gets interesting. Most returned tools that are still in decent shape get sent to a special section that Home Depot doesn't exactly advertise. Walk into any Home Depot and head toward the tool department. Don't go to the shiny new displays where everything costs full price. Instead, look for the clearance end caps, usually tucked away in corners or at the end of aisles where nobody's really paying attention. These spots are like the clearance rack at a clothing store, except instead of last season's shirts, you're finding Milwaukee pack-out systems marked down significantly because someone returned it after deciding they didn't need that much organization in their life. But here's where smart shoppers separate themselves from everyone else. These clearance end caps rotate inventory constantly. What's there on Tuesday might be completely different by Friday. Contractors regularly find cordless combo kits marked down 30 to 50% just because the box had a tear in it. The tools inside? Brand new, never touched, still had that factory smell. But Home Depot can't sell it as new anymore because policy says once that seal's broken, it's open box merchandise. Now, some of these returned tools have an even more interesting journey. If they're not in perfect condition but still work fine, they get tagged with orange clearance stickers. These are the tools that show signs of use. Maybe there's a scuff mark on the housing, or the case has a crack, but the motor runs perfectly and all the parts are there. Professional contractors know to check these sections religiously because they're getting tools that perform identically to brand new ones at prices that make the tool truck guys weep. Think about it this way. A Makita brushless hammer drill that normally retails for several $100s might show up with a clearance tag at 40% off. The previous owner used it to hang some shelves, decided cordless drills weren't for them, and returned it. You're getting a tool that's got maybe 20 minutes of runtime on it, saving significant money, and the thing still has years of warranty left. But wait, there's a whole other category of returns that never even make it to the store floor. These are the tools that come back with missing pieces, damaged packaging, or issues that make them unsellable as is. Home Depot doesn't just throw these away. That would be insane when you're talking about tools that cost hundreds of dollars. Instead, they get bundled up and sent to liquidation centers. And this is where the real treasure hunters come in. These liquidation centers, places like Direct Liquidation or B-Stock, buy pallets of returned merchandise from Home Depot for pennies on the dollar. Then they resell these tools to the public, usually through online auctions or wholesale lots. Contractors report buying pallets of returned tools from these liquidation sites at steep discounts. Inside those pallets, multiple Milwaukee drills, Bosch jigsaws, DeWalt accessories, and assorted power tools. Sure, some have cosmetic damage. Some might be missing a battery charger or have a bent accessory. But after spending minimal money on replacement parts, buyers end up with tool collections worth several times what they paid. The Milwaukee drills alone can justify the entire pallet cost. Do the calculation and try not to feel silly for every tool you bought at full price. Here's something else most people don't realize. Home Depot has regional return centers where they process massive volumes of returned merchandise. These centers sort through everything, test what they can, and make decisions about where each item goes. Tools that are damaged beyond economical repair get stripped for parts. Those parts then get sold to authorized repair centers or sometimes back to the manufacturers. But tools that just need minor fixes, those get refurbished. And this is where your wallet should start getting excited, because refurbished tools from Home Depot's program are basically like getting factory quality at garage sale prices. The refurbishment process isn't some guy with a screwdriver tightening things in his garage. These tools go through legitimate testing and repair. Worn brushes get replaced, batteries that don't hold charge get recycled, cases get swapped out. By the time a refurbished tool comes back into circulation, it's functionally identical to a new one. The only difference is the price tag. A refurbished rigid impact driver typically sells for 30 to 40% less than buying new. Same warranty, same performance, just a previous owner who decided they preferred a different brand color. But let's talk about the category nobody thinks about: the tools that get returned, because they're the wrong ones for the job. Someone buys a rotary hammer thinking it's just a really aggressive drill, tries to use it for regular drilling, gets scared by the noise and vibration, and returns it the next day. That tool did absolutely nothing wrong. It's designed to punch through concrete like it's made of butter, not drill precision holes in 2x4s. Home Depot can't sell it as new because it's been activated and used, even if just for 5 minutes. So it goes to clearance with substantial markdowns. You're getting a tool that's basically new, just because the previous owner didn't read the description before buying. And here's the part that really gets interesting. Seasonal returns create massive opportunities if you know when to shop. Every spring, weekend warriors get excited about DIY projects, buy a bunch of tools, use them for one deck build or fence installation, then return everything before the 90-day window closes. Home Depot's return policy is stupid generous, 90 days with receipt, which basically invites people to treat the tool department like a free rental service. The stores know this happens. They can't stop it without changing policies that would drive customers to competitors. But what this means for you is that late spring and early summer, those clearance sections overflow with barely used tools that got returned after project completion. Smart shoppers find entire tool sets this way. Multi-piece combo kits get used for deck builds, returned for full refund, then show up in clearance at significant discounts because the box shows wear and one of the cases has a crack. All the tools work perfectly. Batteries hold charge, chargers function fine, but you're saving hundreds because someone essentially rented the kit for free, and you're benefiting from Home Depot's inability to resell it as new. Now, let's talk about the returns that make absolutely no sense until you understand human psychology. Tools get returned because people change their mind about brands. Someone's been a DeWalt guy their whole life, decides to try Milwaukee, uses it for a week, then returns it because yellow tools just feel right in their hands. That Milwaukee tool did nothing wrong. It performed exactly as designed. But brand loyalty is a weird thing, and Home Depot ends up with perfectly functional tools in clearance because someone couldn't handle the color change. These brand switcher returns are gold for smart buyers because you're getting tools that were barely broken in, returned for completely irrational reasons, at prices that make sense for your wallet instead of someone's emotional attachment to a color scheme. But here's where the system really works in your favor if you're paying attention. Home Depot employees have discretion on clearance pricing. If a tool's been sitting in clearance too long, managers will authorize additional markdowns to move inventory. Tools that started at 20% off get marked down to 50% off after sitting around for a month. The trick is building relationships with the tool department staff. Chat with them, ask when they typically do markdowns, and you'll start getting inside information about when certain tools are about to get deeper discounts. These folks aren't trying to hide anything. They just don't advertise it, because then everyone would camp out waiting for markdowns instead of buying things at regular price. And there's another secret that'll blow your mind. Home Depot has a program for damaged goods that most stores don't publicize. If you find a tool with damaged packaging or cosmetic issues still on the regular shelf, you can literally ask for a discount at the register. The cashier or manager can mark it down right there. Customers regularly get additional discounts off routers or sanders because the box was crushed on one corner. The tool inside? Pristine, never used, wrapped in factory plastic. But that damaged box means instant savings, because Home Depot knows they can't sell damaged packaging at full price if customers notice it. Here's the psychology behind why this system exists and why it benefits you. Big box stores operate on volume and velocity. They'd rather move a returned tool at 70% of retail than have it taking up shelf space for months. Shelf space costs money. Every square foot of that store has a calculated value based on sales per foot. A return drill sitting in clearance taking up space that could hold new inventory costs them more in opportunity cost than just marking it down aggressively and moving it fast. This is why you can find insane deals if you're willing to hunt. The stores are actually motivated to get these returns out the door quickly. But let's talk about what happens to the returns that don't make it to any of these channels. The tools that are truly broken, damaged beyond repair, or just too problematic to resell. Home Depot has agreements with manufacturers to handle these. Defective tools get sent back to Milwaukee, DeWalt, Makita, whoever made them. The manufacturers investigate warranty claims, track defect patterns, and either repair or recycle the tools. But here's the kicker for you as a buyer. This creates manufacturer refurbished inventory. Milwaukee's factory refurbished tools, for example, come with the same warranty as new tools because Milwaukee themselves did the refurbishment. These refurbs show up on sites like CPO outlets or factory authorized outlets at prices that undercut even Home Depot's clearance deals. That's tools that went through the return process, got sent back to the manufacturer, got professionally refurbished by people who designed them in the first place, then sold at massive discounts. And we haven't even talked about the ProDesk returns yet. Home Depot's ProDesk serves contractors who buy in volume. When pros return tools, it's usually because they ordered the wrong quantity, not because the tools are defective. A contractor might order 6 impact drivers, but only needed 4. Those 2 extras get returned, still in sealed boxes, never activated. Home Depot can't sell them as new once they're in the return system, even if they're literally untouched. These ProDesk returns end up in clearance sections, marked down just because they went through the return process, despite being absolutely brand new in every way that matters. The holiday return wave creates another massive opportunity. After Christmas, people return tools they received as gifts. Wrong brand, duplicates, or just didn't want them. These gift returns flood stores in late December and January. Home Depot's clearance sections explode with inventory during this period. Smart shoppers wait until mid-January when stores are desperate to clear out this returned gift inventory to make room for spring merchandise. The markdowns during this period can hit 60% off because the stores need that shelf space back fast. Now, here's the strategy that separates casual shoppers from people who never pay full price for tools. Make friends with your local Home Depot tool department staff. Visit the same store regularly. Chat with the employees. Ask questions. Show genuine interest. These folks see the clearance inventory before it hits the floor. They know what's coming in returns. And if they recognize you as someone who buys regularly, they might just tip you off when something good is about to get marked down. Some shoppers report building relationships that result in notifications about high-end tools hitting clearance before the general public sees them. The online return game is completely different, but equally valuable. Tools ordered online and returned often never go back to stores. They get processed through return centers and show up on Home Depot's website in the special buys section or open box deals. These online clearance deals ship to your door at the same discounted prices you'd find in store, except you're competing with fewer people because most folks don't know to check the website for returns. The selection rotates constantly, and if you set up alerts for specific brands or tool types, you can catch deals the moment they drop. Here's the bottom line that nobody in the tool industry wants you to understand. The return system is absolutely broken in your favor if you know how to use it. Home Depot's generous return policy creates a constant stream of barely used, cosmetically imperfect, or simply unwanted tools that must be sold at discounts. Combine that with seasonal patterns, liquidation channels, refurbishment programs, and the simple fact that stores need to move inventory quickly, and you have a system practically designed to save you money. The professionals and contractors figured this out years ago. That's why you see them cruising clearance sections and building relationships with store staff. They're not paying full price for anything they don't have to, and neither should you. But let me give you one more insider tip that'll change how you shop forever. The absolute best time to hit Home Depot for return tool deals is Thursday morning, right when they open. Why Thursday? Because most stores do their return processing and clearance tagging on Wednesday nights. Thursday morning, you're seeing fresh clearance inventory before the weekend warriors show up and clean everything out. Shoppers report finding table saws and larger tools marked down significantly on Thursday mornings because someone returned them after realizing their garage wasn't big enough. And here's another angle most people miss. The seasonal tool sections get destroyed with returns. Someone buys a pressure washer in April, uses it twice, returns it in June. That pressure washer shows up in clearance right when everyone else is buying new ones at full price. Same thing happens with generators after storm season and snowblowers after winter. Buy your seasonal tools one season late from clearance and you're getting barely used equipment at substantial discounts. Paint sprayers get returned constantly because people underestimate prep work. They buy name brand sprayers, use them once, decide rolling is easier, and return them. Home Depot cleans them up and marks them down significantly. Those sprayers work identically to new. You just saved substantial money. Same applies to tile saws and specialty tools that weekend warriors buy with big ambitions and return with small completion rates. And don't forget display models. When Home Depot refreshes tool displays, demo units get marked for clearance. These tools never worked a real job. They're plugged in for demonstration, but never used on projects. Yet they get tagged as open box and sold at 20 to 40% off. Display model circular saws, sanders, and other tools offer significant savings for cosmetic shelfware that disappears the first time you use them. Here's another angle that separates professionals from amateurs. The damaged freight section exists in many Home Depot locations, usually near receiving or in back corners. Tools arrive with shipping damage, crushed boxes, dented cases, but the tools inside are pristine. These never make it to regular shelves. They go straight to damaged freight clearance at 40 to 60% off. Contractors report buying multiple units of damaged freight power tools for crews because the cardboard packaging got beat up in shipping while the tools remained factory fresh. And pay attention to manager specials. When a department manager needs to clear shelf space fast, they'll create custom markdowns on return tools that aren't moving. These aren't in the system as official clearance. They're handwritten price tags that give you leverage to negotiate even lower. Customers report talking managers into additional markdowns on clearance items by pointing out how long they've been sitting unsold. Those negotiations can result in savings that add up to hundreds compared to buying new. Next time you're in Home Depot, skip new displays and go straight for clearance sections. Look for those orange clearance stickers. Ask staff about upcoming markdowns. Build relationships with employees who can tip you off. Check the damaged freight area near receiving. Scout online open box sections regularly. Set up price alerts for your favorite brands. The system rewards people who understand it. Those return tools perform exactly like full-price versions on regular shelves. The only difference is you're smart enough to let someone else pay the premium while you get professional results at discount prices